All right, we are looking at part 2 of extension lesson 2-1. And this part 2 is asking us to expand each exponential expression using repeated multiplication. So remember that exponents represent repeated multiplication. So we're going to use that repeated multiplication idea here to expand these. This is going to come in handy when we get into the more complicated problems. So number 7 says 6 to the 4th power. So that means I'm multiplying 6 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. And all it says to do is expand. It doesn't say to simplify or anything, so I don't need to do anything. I don't need to go to my calculator and do 6 times 6 times 6. You can certainly if you want to, but you don't have to. So here, number 8, careful to notice the difference, where parentheses. Notice your bases in that. The 5 has an exponent of 1 on it. Remember, there's no exponent there written, so the 5 is only happening once. The x is risen to the 7th power, so I should have 7 x's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then my y to the 3rd would be times y, y, y. And actually, I'm going to change the color on the 5 just to emphasize the fact that the 5 is in no way, shape, or form attached to that 7. I could move all those pieces around. Excuse me. It's the most talking I've done in a while. Okay, up next, number 9. So expanding this, I have 3y as my base because of the parentheses, and that's being raised to the 4th power, which means I should have 4 of those. So 3y times 3y times 3y times 3y. Boom. And in number 10, they have some parentheses going on, no big deal. So again, my base is the entire x plus 8. And my exponent says I'm doing that 3 times. Boom. So there is expanding. That is that is why exponents represent repeated multiplication. That's where that comes from. Let's do part 3 also, because it goes right along with it. So going right along with that is going to be condensing, going backwards. So we expanded, and now we're going to condense. Those giant dots look ridiculous, but those are supposed to be multiplication symbols. So those are multiplication. So 3, notice how the 3 is only happening once. So the 3 has an exponent of 1, meaning that it's not going to be inside of parentheses. And then I have h times h times h times h. That's 4 times, so h to the 4th power. Notice to note the difference between doing something like h plus h plus h to get 4h versus h times h times h times h to get h to the 4th power. Sorry, excuse me. Just make sure you're noticing that difference there. It's important. Okay, so number 12 here, noticing the parentheses, noticing that the 6 is happening over and over and over again with the y also. It's being repeatedly multiplied. Not like the 3 was in 11 here. That was only being multiplied once. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6y to the 6th. That is not correct the way I have that written. You need to have that in parentheses because both the 6 and the y are being multiplied. So very, very important. You must have parentheses. And then number 13, I'm just condensing that. Need to also have the parentheses here too, because again, the whole piece is being multiplied 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Boom. So that's just a little bit of the basics, condensing and expanding.